I divorced my husband and ruined his coworker's family by believing my own Sill's cunning manipulations. Now I can't do anything other than regret it. Cheating is something that I have always had strong opinions about. I have been cheated on before, and it sucked. Everyone knows that I don't forgive cheaters. So when my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, staged an elaborate scheme about my husband cheating, I ended the relationship. My relationship, unfortunately, wasn't the only one that was affected. My sister-in-law, Lisa, 32, her best friend, Emma, 32, and my husband, Jamie, 29, were best friends growing up. Emma got married early, when she was 20. Her husband was Asif. She has 2 children with him. She got divorced 10 years later, and she was finally free from his Oz. She suffered a lot, however, and was probably still is in therapy. Her and her children. I 30 met Jamie 4 years ago. We got married 2 years later. Everything was just awesome. What I didn't know was that Emma wanted Jamie, and Lisa made it her mission, when Emma finally got divorced, to bring her brother and best friend together. I didn't know any of this, so I never knew there was a hidden agenda when, a few months into my marriage, I overheard Lisa talking about how Jamie was cheating on a married colleague of his. In hindsight, I can tell it was staged because she was giving unnecessary details and was very loud. She meant for me to hear it. I confronted her then and there, and she played very flustered, apologized, and begged me not to ruin my marriage. She told me Jamie loved me, and she never wanted to lose me as a sister. But at the same time, she provided me with pictures and texts. They were all photoshopped of my husband and his colleague. She begged me not to mention where I'd found out, and I was grateful for her support and promised her not to expose her as the source. I confronted my husband with everything, and he adamantly refused to admit anything. It hurt me more that he never admitted it or apologized. Ever. He asked me where I got this from, but I kept my promise and told him it was an anonymous tip. I also went so far that I contacted the colleague's husband. At the time, I thought it was the right thing to do. The colleague is this very beautiful woman that my husband worked very closely with for many hours a day. I was a bit jealous of that, and I confided my fears to Lisa. She used it against me. I asked for divorce, and the colleague's husband did too. After that, Lisa, who I thought was my friend, and who called me her sister, disappeared from my life, like I never existed. Even when I bumped into her, she was short with me and indifferent. Months went by, and I was still heartbroken, processing the separation. My husband stopped trying to make me see reason and agreed to divorce. He said he wanted to move on. I started having doubts. Why is Lisa doing this now? She was my friend and wanted the best for me, yet now she doesn't even answer my texts. I follow both her and Emma on Instagram, and I started seeing how Emma and my husband gradually started hanging out. At least once a week, Emma or Lisa shared stories about my husband with Emma and her children. What I did next is very questionable, and yet I don't regret it at all. I was desperate, and I needed the truth. I was still very good friends with Lisa's boyfriend's Mike's sister. I told her my doubts and everything. I told her that Lisa was my source, that my husband was cheating, that I'm starting to doubt everything, and that I needed their help to unearth the truth. Mike was easier to persuade to help me than I expected. He had Lisa's passcodes, and he went through her messages with Emma. And there was everything. They have plotted everything. They used my idiocy and insecurity, and made me throw the best thing that has ever happened to me. He sent me all the proof I needed. Even the original photos they used to Photoshop my husband with his colleague. My world was turned upside down again, and I went into a deeper depression. I stayed in bed and called in sick for 2 weeks. I have not only ruined my life, but also that of another family. I don't know why I'm writing here. If I want advice or just to vent, I don't blame anyone but my stupidity for ruining my marriage. I should have trusted my husband and the love he's shown me. I should have been honest with him about everything, and where I got the news that he was cheating from. I should not have gone to hurt the colleague and her family just because I thought she was beautiful. She has since quit her job and moved, but I still had her husband's contact information. I had to at least apologize. We met, and I told him everything. He was so angry with me. He was crying and yelling at me, and all I could think was that I deserved every insult he threw my way. I found the colleague on Instagram and sent her everything and a long apology. She didn't answer me. I don't know if I should tell my husband too. I know I don't deserve him at all, and I know that he doesn't want me anymore. But maybe he should just know what Emma is doing and what she's capable of doing. He deserves to know the truth. Maybe I could start by reassuring him that I'm not trying to win him back. I'm just trying to help him understand and apologize. I need to apologize for everything. I don't know. Update. Hi. I have now an update. Thank you for being so supportive. I honestly didn't expect that, given how long and boring my story was. I remember being so desperate and wanting to tell everything from the beginning and put it out there, maybe to try and make excuses for myself and for what I did. I appreciate that you wanted to help. I decided not to meet up with Jamie. Every time I try to text him and ask for a meeting, I panic. That wasn't a good sign at all. I wanted him to know everything in detail, and I tend to be all over the place when I'm panicking. So I decided to email him instead. I made a lot of drafts. I cross-checked all the information and waited a whole day before sending. I'm adding some details here and there that I've forgotten to include. I sent him all the manipulated pictures and the original. Every screenshot Mike sent me from Lisa and Emma's conversations. I made it clear, however, that I wasn't trying to manipulate him to have me back. I knew that what I did was unforgivable, but I wanted to warn him about who he's dealing with. I told her that I've been watching Emma and Lisa's Instagram, and I've seen that he was getting cozier with Emma. I wanted him to know all the facts if he was dating her. This took all my energy to write. Just the thought of him dating Emma. I can't. I texted him that I'd sent him an important email. He didn't answer me. On Wednesday, when I came back from work, Lisa, Emma, and Emma's 2 children were waiting for me outside of my building. When I let them in, stupid me, Lisa started yelling and threatening me. She told me to call and tell Jamie and Mike that I had made up all of this because I'm a pathetic loser. She told me I didn't want her as an enemy because she would make my life sour. Believe me, you don't want me to make destroying your already miserable life my mission. Emma just smiled the whole time. She later said that my husband always had a crush on her and that he wouldn't believe my nonsense because he could finally be with her. The thing is, it felt like Lisa was more angry that Mike knew what she did than her brother, and she really was annoyed about Emma and told her to shut up all the time. I couldn't get them out of my apartment, so I just left and called Jamie. I told him that they were at my place and that I couldn't get them out. 15 minutes later, I saw them leave. Jamie texted then that he wanted to come over if I was all right with it. Yes, he told me that he was very hurt and that I would doubt him like this and believe rumors. I told him everything again without panicking. I told him that I loved and trusted Lisa. She was like my sister, and I asked him to put himself in my shoes if he happened to hear Lisa talk about me being unfaithful. Would he have any doubts about his loving sister's intentions? He stayed the night and left the next morning. We have been texting several times a day and talking on the phone and FaceTime every night since. He says that he loves me, but that he doesn't know what to do. He is very hurt. By his sister and Emma, of course, but even by me. He hasn't talked about canceling the divorce process yet. I will just have to wait, and that's understandable. I've turned his life upside down twice in such a short period of time. On a happier note, my husband's colleague and her husband are back together. My husband met with them and apologized. I've already told them everything, but my husband felt the need to apologize personally. Mike has ended it with Lisa. Lisa and Emma's relationship is very strained. Both have blocked me from IG, of course, but apparently Lisa is blaming Emma for Mike leaving her, and Emma has tried to throw Lisa under the bus by telling Jamie she was innocent in all of this. I really hope my husband forgives me, and I promise that I will make it up to him and love him forever. Second story. Story of is mom cheating in relationships. My sister saw a SX video of my mother, and that started a SHT show. My sister found this video on my mom's laptop. I think she was using her laptop for some school stuff, and she must have gone snooping through her personal files. She found this video. It was from a few years ago, according to the date of the file. It's definitely our mom in the video, and it looks to be in some hotel room. There's definitely a man in the video, but he's holding the camera, and we don't see his face or hear his voice. I don't want to go into any detail, but it's basically a striptease or SX tape filmed by the man. So while our mom is clearly identifiable, I can't tell exactly who the man is. I first got angry at my sister for showing it to me. I told her this is gross. I don't want to see that. She told me she thinks it could mean our mom is cheating on our dad, and we should at least present the information to our dad. I told her it was very likely him in the photo. You can see the man's hands in a few shots. I think it's my dad, but she seems to think it's not him. I told her that if we show it to them, and it is him, not only will we be embarrassed, but they will be mad at her for snooping. She was like, "Why do you care? I'm the one who did the snooping, so only I'll get in trouble. I'll cover you if they try to get mad at you." I told her there has to be a more sensitive way of approaching the situation, instead of just bombarding our parents with, "Hey, we saw your SX tape," which could either be with you or mom's secret lover, and we should consider the fallout. However, she seems pretty adamant that she just wants to show them. She thinks it's the safest option, since if she was cheating, she gets exposed. But if it was just dad, then no harm is done. We can't agree on what to do, and I have a feeling she might show it to them regardless of what I feel. But if I push hard enough, I might convince her of an alternative solution. Any ideas on what we should do? Sister found a SX tape involving our mom on the computer. The guy's face is not visible. I think it's dad. My sister thinks it's another man, and she's cheating. She wants to confront them with the evidence, but I think we'd be in trouble if we did, and we should find a more sensitive solution to what's going on if anything is going on. Relevant comments. OP comes up with plans. Option A, sending it anonymously. OP. I like the idea of sending it to him anonymously, maybe through email or something. If it's him, no harm is done, and he doesn't know it's us. Mars Valentine. Please don't do that. Your parents will be SHTing themselves, wondering what kind of pervert hacker has gone through their computer to watch their private videos. Melix drama. But if it is him, and you send it anonymously, he'll be freaking out about who has it and how they found it. Option B, telling dad about the video. If he's in it, he'll know it's him, and won't he get mad at us for even looking at it? Is there a way I can let him know that I'm sorry I had to look at it, but only because we were concerned about him, so he doesn't get mad? Option C, faking finding it in front of dad. OP. Okay, what if we go up to him and tell him there's something we need to show him on the laptop, and then while browsing it in front of him, we pretend to stumble on the thing for the first time? We can be like, "What is this?" If he genuinely doesn't know and says to open it to find out, it means he doesn't know about it. If he's like, "No, don't click that," it means he knows. Jackjoy's Paradise. Dude, if you use one of the plans you've put in this thread, or confront him with it, please post an update. This is gold. I can't wait until your dad A, gets an anonymous email with his SX tape and thinks he's being blackmailed. B, finds out you have been watching him do the nasty with mom and is crazy embarrassed. Or C, and my favorite option, pretends to mistakenly find it while showing him something else, and the whole family watches mom and dad's SX tape. Cheating women don't keep videos on the family laptop of them stripping and cheating. They're not dudes. And if your mom turns out to be the dumbest cheater ever, then all of this will expose itself soon enough. But she's not, so it won't. But I just want to see the cringe update, so I'm still rooting for C. OP. No, here's what my sister and I decided to do. We're going to sit mom and dad down and tell them both at the same time that while we were using their laptop, we noticed there was a lot of junk, and we were cleaning it up to make it run faster. In the process, we accidentally stumbled on this file and mistakenly opened it without knowing what it was, but it closed as soon as we realized it. We won't tell them we watched the whole thing, and we won't tell them we suspect cheating. We'll say that the reason we're telling them this is because we think they should save the file in a more secure location, or maybe on a separate hard drive or something, so it doesn't get hacked into. If my dad knows about the tape, he'll be like, "Okay, that makes sense." If he doesn't know about the tape, well, now he would. Update. Yeah, things didn't go so well, unfortunately. I kept arguing with my sister. I told her if she's so certain they're cheating, the least we could do is ask dad first if he knows about the tape, but not mention that we've seen it. She was determined that it was cheating. Based on the hands and the feet, she was like, "Those definitely aren't dad's." I told her she was creepy as F if that was them in the video, and God knows how many times she's watched it. She was basically watching a video of our mother, without any cloths, and fing our dad's D. Even if it wasn't our dad's D, it's still thing gross. She didn't care. I told her if I couldn't stop her, she should at least leave me out of it. I want nothing to do with it. She went nuclear. She went and told them everything and embarrassed the F out of herself. It turned out her little detective work was way off. It was Dad in the video. Our dad was angry, but mostly bewildered. But he just laughed it off and got over it. Our mom, however, didn't take it so well. She had a panic attack. She went nuts. She was like, "What the hell is wrong with you kids?" I tried to stay out of it, but my sister dragged me into it and named me as her accomplice, even though I had warned her against it. Our mom was so hurt and upset, not only that her daughter would so brazenly accuse her of cheating, but that her children had watched an explicit SX tape of her. She was really traumatized. She couldn't take it anymore. She got up and left for her parents' house, where she'd been there for a whole day to recuperate. She only called our dad to speak to. She won't speak to us. Our dad told us to just give it time until she's feeling better. TLDR. Nobody was cheating, but my sister messed up my parents' relationship. Mom is crying now and has gone to stay with her parents. She won't talk to my sister or me.